What is the word? What is good? It's your boy, and I'm here to break down Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. Leaving the movie theater, had a lot of questions, right? And one of the questions was, what's going on with the story? Now I'm gonna break down this Resident Evil recap, right? And it's gonna be spoilers, man. I just want to say, the directors this time around cut a lot of fat off of the Resident Evil story that we're accustomed to. You know, we start the movie off right with a reimagining of Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, a story that hasn't been told to, the fans as far as, the backstory of Claire and Chris, right? So they were in the orphanage. Parents passed, right? The orphanage is ran by Umbrella, right? William Birkin is also there at the orphanage, low key running some secret, experiments behind the scene. You have Claire and Chris, they're young in the beginning, this is the intro, right? So basically, you see her speaking with Lisa Trevor. Lisa Trevor is from the remake of Resident Evil 1, right? Great how they put it's gonna be great how they blended these stories together, right? So you have it coming to present day, right? And you have Claire, who is hitchhiking a ride with the infamous truck driver from Resident Evil 2, right? He still has his hamburger, right? He on some creepy, hand on Claire's knee, in the midst of that, running into a pedestrian on the road. They stop the truck, they get out, they see the body disappears, the dog licks the blood. That's how we set up this story, um, with the truck driver and how he ultimately runs into, well, the car flips over by the police station. So we go into the story of, Wesker, Jill, and you got Leon there. Now this is a great story, but now we at a point like, where's Barry? Right? Barry is not in the movie. That's wild, but they did, kind of do a callback to the Jill sandwich, the scene in the diner when, um she took the sandwich from Wesco and was like, oh, this is a Jill sandwich now. I feel like that was great right there. And you introduce all these characters. And at the end of the day, I just feel like it was great how we got this retelling of the story. I was excited. It was great. Great. So you have Claire meet up with Chris, right? So, at the end of the day, Claire runs away. She comes back to Raccoon City. She feel like it's something finna go down because she's been talking with this guy named Ben, and the guy Ben, he's like, well, Umbrella just left this city to rot. They packed up and went to a new city. So you already setting up the sequel. That's what I love about that. Just dropping little jewels. You know what I mean? So that was great right there. So um, we moved to William Birkin, right? He gets a call. You hear the sirens going off. So, he like, look, we got to get up out of here. And, Chris, he like, look, I gotta go to the police station. Here go the keys. Don't ride my bike. You know what I mean? So you have Claire. who then sees a family next door, looking like Benjamin Button. You know what I mean? They transforming into zombies or whatnot. They come over there, attack the boat. She like, look, I'm out of here, hopping on the bike, you know. And you have a moment to where Claire runs almost into William Birkin, like on the road, and he looking at her, she looking at him. You have a flashback to the orphanage. Boom. Um, they part ways. So then you go to the police station where you have, Chief Irons. He's talking to, you know, um, Chris, Jill, Wesker, and Leon up in there. And Leon, like, Brad was in there too. You know what I mean? Leon, you're like, Leon, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? You're supposed to be at the front desk. Whoop de whoop. So, I believe Chief Irons did a great job with setting up the fact that they were in the 90s. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, who's paging you? Some hot lady? What, you want to take her to Planet Hollywood? Go to Blockbuster and just setting it up. It was great how that transpired, right? So you have them suiting up, going to the mansion to see what's happening with the Bravo team, right? You got Leon downstairs. You got the truck driver. He, you know, turned into a zombie. He big. He speeding. He driving the truck, flip over by the police station, blow up. You see what I'm saying? So Leon in there sleep the whole time. You know what I mean? The zombie walk in on fire, which I feel like was a great part of the movie, the introduction, right? Several introductions, but that was like what stood out to me, the zombie on fire, and he had Chief Iron save Leon. So, Chief Iron's like, look, I'm up out of here. I'm finna get out of here, figure out the city. Would be good, you promote it. So, we have a scene in the parking lot. And I'm like, yeah, they gonna do a call back there. We're gonna get some dogs real quick. I don't know how it's gonna play out, but that's just how I felt in the movie theater. So you have Irons, he out, right? He's out, he sees some guards, people pull up behind him, they get out the car, like, what's going on? Oh, you heard brrr, you hear me? Then you turn and none other than Hump. You know what I mean? And it's like he's starting his mission, right? You know what I mean? You already know, if Hunk is there on a mission to get the T virus. You see what I'm saying? So then Chief Irons, he hurry up and go back to the police department, right? He up in the police department and he get to the parking lot, then that's when we get the dog, right? So he done wasted all his bullets trying to shoot the dog. Whoop de woo. He face to face with the dog. Dog coming. Boom. We get Claire, Leon, and Chief Irons. Right. So this is what's going to start. The side. I want to say side A version, side B version of the story. Then you have Jill, Chris, Brad, and I forgot the other guy name that was with them. But they're on the way to the mansion. The way it's shot, it looks like it's straight out of a video game. Look like it's straight out the video game, like the original joint. You hear me? The only thing that um, stood out to me was the fact that they didn't have a dog chase scene in the beginning. They just really, walked up to the mansion and was like, all right, cool, let's go up in this mansion real quick. They get up in the mansion and the mansion is like a spitting image of the video game. I mean, just like wow, just like crazy. But the only thing that stood out to me that was wild was, Resident Evil, the one, the original joint, the first door you're going through is the bottom, left hand side due to the fact you need keys and things of that nature to progress through the game. And, Chris and the one guy went upstairs and what was so funny is like Wesker is on like a secret mission, right? He got a Palm Pilot in his locker, right? That was saying we got this mission for you basically. So he really trying to split up and go by himself. And the one guy was like, I think we should pair up. So he like, and Jill's like, I'm gonna come with you. And then, you see Jill and Wesker got like something going on from the diner, from, the office. Now they in the mansion. Right. And then Jill made she was talking in the police station about, about ways crazy ways to die, like from like a snake or a shark, call back to, Resident Evil One, the video game. So it was great how they did that, right? So you have them in this mansion, right? Um, you have them in this mansion, and it's just like eerie. The tension is through the roof. You get a scene where they walking past the scene that look like when the dogs come out of part one. The one they come flash pop, jumping through the window. Then, you had a Palm Pilot. That was dope for the fact to have, the map on the Palm Pilot. That's something you don't get in the video game that you'll get into a movie, like get out of the movie and be like, that was wild the way they done that. That was wild. I appreciate that. Right? So you have Jill and Wesker, they get to a point to where he's using the Palm Pilot to put, a clue in, open up the door. Won't. I'm gonna stop right there because I have to go back. And then you have Chris and the one guy, like that was just so intense, so crazy. Because like in a video game, you used to just like one zombie being in the room, right? This one is you got a mob of zombies and they moving hyperactive, bro. They is all over the place. You know what I mean? And the one fallen soldier, like, look, he did the best he could do. And then Chris was just out there just getting it. You see what I'm saying? It's just wild. I don't know how he got out of his jams, but it was a point where like he had a flashlight. Just dropped the flashlight, or the flashlight went out, or something of that nature. And the only way you were getting light out of the room was with gunshots. Like he has to, so you can see what's going on in the room, and you got them zombies coming out the cut, coming out of nowhere. Like he did a great job getting out of there, out of that one. That was crazy. But then you got Brad outside, a zombie come, he gets scared, fly away. And I just want to stop right here and say that it makes perfect sense the way they blended these stories together. I always thought like, okay, so in the video game version of Resident Evil 1, you beat it there at the mansion, right? Then what, they go to the crib and chill out for a minute, and then that's how you got Resident Evil 3, and then they go on to Resident Evil 2, and then back to Resident Evil 3. And it's just, it was perfect the way they blended the story together. It made perfect sense. You have the Claire meet up with Chris, and you have them set up and introduce these characters, and you have them going on a mission to, the mansion, and you have, the mission at, Raccoon City Police Department. So one thing that stood out to me about the police department, I just want to let y'all know, like Resident Evil 3, like is like not even in this movie. Like Raccoon City, like, and as far as Resident Evil 2, you don't get Kendo's gunshot. You don't. You don't get Mr. X. You don't get Nemesis. You don't get Carlos. You don't get none of that. You hear me? It's just like you got to think at the end of the day, out of all the Resident Evil video games, at the end of the day, it's all about survival. How are you getting out of the city? And I think they did a great job with telling that story about how, Chief Irons, Claire, and Leon, they go, he gets the vest. Chief Irons like, look, I'm waiting on this helicopter, but the helicopter ain't coming or whatever. So he like, look, we finna go ahead and take this other route and go through the orphanage, right? So on their way out of the police station, they get attacked by zombies, right? But then they focus on one zombie like towards the end, and it was straight Marvin, like black zombie running up like that. That was Marvin. They didn't have time to tell a story, but they just threw that out there like, look, this was Marvin right here. So anyway, they get up out of the police station and they go through the orphanage, right? That's when we meet Lisa Trevor, and I'm just like, okay, if it wasn't, a zombie apocalypse with Lisa Trevor just be walking around the orphanage like that anyway, but it was funny to me though. So she like getting them hip about, the liquor, right? The liquor was introduced at the police station, right? When you go through like what the door when you first come in to the left, you go through that one door, woo woo. I'm thinking about the remake, but the original was like that too almost anyway, right? So but we get to look at the orphanage, kill Chief Irons, right? Um, Lisa Trevor ended up taking out the liquor. And what was so wild was she helped them and gave them a set of keys, which were the keys that you collected in the video game that were good at the police station, but they only used it this one time to get on the elevator to get up out of the orphanage, right? So you have Brad, he get attacked by the zombie. He fly into the mansion, right? So it's like kind of taking a scene from Resident Evil 2 remake when a helicopter crashes into the police department and you get the scene with Mr. X, right? But we have no Mr. X, right? Brad doesn't come back, right? And Resident Evil 3 at the police station and you get to take him out. No, he flies through, the mansion blows up, he comes back as a zombie, Wesker kills him, boom. We get Wesker like, look, I got this mission I gotta do. Jill's like, we need to go tell the rest. And then he's like, look, I got this mission I gotta do. So Jill goes back, finds Chris, gets Chris help. That was intense right there because it was, like I said, it was just that whole gun battle scene until Jill pulled up. So then you go to William, right? He with his family, he getting the T virus, and you have Wesker pull up on William. He like, look, I need the T virus, right? He like, all right, cool. I'm finna play it off back turn. You see the gun, right? But he turned around, try to shoot him, right? What I mean? Well, he does shoot him, and then, Wesker, shoots back at William, kill him, what I mean? Or stun him, you know what I mean? So the wife looks as though if she's giving him, a serum of the virus, right? She stands up with the gun and turns around. It was just funny the way they was like, turned around and was like, oh, I'm gonna turn around and you know what I mean? Like anyway, so Wesker take out the wife. Sherry runs away, right? So you get to a point to where Sherry has a gun, and then I believe Jill shoots Wesker or whatever, and Wesker like, look, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, woo woo. Y'all trying to escape? It's a train down there, woo woo. So they go. You got William Burke, he transforming, again into his second stage to where Chris and Jill, are running to get separated. Remind me of the scene in Resident Evil 2 with Leon, Ada, what was that, Sherry, wearing like the sword. You gotta like, oh no, it wasn't even Sherry. It was just like Leon and Ada where they split up. But then like Chris split up because he couldn't get through the thing. He heard the tyrant coming, so he had his one off with the tyrant in the second form. But you have Claire come through, break that up, woo woo. So now you got all these characters together going towards the train, right? They get on the train. At 6 o'clock in the morning. Raccoon City is destroyed, right? The train is offset. You have the tyrant in his last form at the end of the game, end of the movie, right? Brad McClure, Claire stab him in the eye. He throw a whoopty whoop. You have Chris who pulls up, bing, pop, pop, boom, boom, shooting the eyeballs off of the tyrant, which was great. You know what I mean? Nice, call back to the video game. You ultimately have Leon with the rocket launcher who takes out the tyrant, you know, and then they walking up out of the tunnel. You know what I mean? And then you have post credit scene where you have Wesker, where you have a body bag. Body bag sits up, opens up. It's Wesker, he comes out of there. He's like, I'm blind. Woman gives him some glasses. Woman is Ada Wong. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like this is a great movie, right? I'm not even gonna fake it. It's a great movie compared to, the previous movies that were out, by Paul Anderson. And it was like a breath of fresh air with this. Am I feeling some type of way because it isn't like the original story? Like, no, I don't. Like, it's just like if we had like a deluxe edition video game with one and two, like a what if situation. This how it was. Like, they have so much opportunity, so many Easter eggs that were dropped in the game about what we're gonna do with the next sequel. They can, like, just because they didn't have Resident Evil 3 and Mr. X and Nemesis doesn't mean they don't have them at their disposal, right? And then with Ben dropping that jewel on the on the VHS that Claire had. It was like, oh, they picked up and moved to a new city. Boom. So you're gonna have them going to a new city, and then you can recreate three or take elements from three. They spoke with the director, and that's what he was kind of, leading to. Like, you can have, another movie and, have different elements from this movie and that. Like, it's just so wow, so crazy. So like it was awesome. It was most definitely a great movie. I love the character setup. I like the Easter eggs in the movie that refer to the game. Um, I mean, Resident Evil Zero, you just got like Dooley that was in there. You're not getting Rebecca. You're not getting Billy. Resident Evil One, you're not getting, the full gameplay of the mansion and the puzzles and things of that nature. Excuse me. Resident Evil Two, you're not getting Mormon's story. You're not getting a whole police department feel from what they showed was great. You know what I mean? Like you have to appreciate the out of detail in this movie. It's great. Excuse me. And then just no Resident Evil 3, no Carlos, no none of that, no Nemesis, no none of that. And Jill was like, they had to look right. You see what I'm saying? Like that was wild. Like, look, that's what's up, man. I don't have any complaints about this movie, man. This movie was great. It was better than the previous movies, right? It was true to the video game, and I love the Palm Pilot. You know what I mean? With the wow, just the features on our alone, it was great. It was an awesome ride. I'm telling you. I mean, it's gonna be complaints. People are gonna be like, "Oh man, we didn't get the full story. We didn't like. Come on now, Resident Evil Zero alone is 10 hours of gameplay. Come on now, we ain't finna squeeze all that and make it real cheesy. No, they did enough. Kind of remind me of the reimagining of Mortal Kombat, like how they like, man, we're Johnny Cage, and then at the end you get that what straight up like. But look, it's your boy. I'm about here real quick. I'm just rapping about Resident Evil though, because it was a great movie. I don't see how it would be, you don't have Barry Burton in there. I mean, I understand, but doesn't mean they can't circle the block, pull back up, and insert these characters in this new reimagination of the story. Right, and then you even had a clue that Claire had dropped in the orphanage when she seen the projector video of the Ashford twins. Right, that's going to be crazy. That's already letting you know a Code Veronica. But if we take this element of Code Veronica, right, and then we take this element of Resident Evil 4, the village, right, like come on now, man, they can make this second one straight wicked. They can make the second one wicked, and you still got room for adding, you know what I mean, different characters in there. They can add a barrier in there, like, oh man, I got up out of Raccoon City before whoop de whoop, right? I don't know. It's all good. But look, it's your boy, man. I'm out of here, man. Resident Evil, go check it out. It's a fire movie. Fire movie. Like, that's it. This is a fire movie, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I've seen it twice already. It's a fire movie. Like, it's all good, man. It's your boy, man. I'm out.